Hey y'all, I'm Rylan. Welcome to my channel. A couple times a year I get the biggest urge to go through my shelves and do a huge book purge. And I have recently done another one. And I don't normally film my book unhauls, but I wanted to go through and show y'all the books that I plan to unhaul for a variety of reasons. I'm not going to go super into detail about these books, but I've got a really big stack of books here, 40 plus to be exact. I think it's actually 44 books that I have taken the time to kind of look through and figure out if I really wanted to keep on my shelves. I've also had a big realization over the last several months that I have spent way too much money on building up a collection and falling behind on actually reading those books. I have so many books on my shelves that are unread, and I don't think there's anything wrong with buying books because I do all the time, but I'm never gonna read all the books that I have on my shelves. So I've had to prioritize what I want to keep and read and what just needs to go ahead and get passed on to somebody else, because the likelihood of me getting to them anytime soon is very slim, and I don't need to be buying all these books and having them all on my shelves. I have a really large collection already, and I'm just really bad about reading the books that I own before buying new ones, and it's time to kind of downsize a little bit as I prepare for just future things and space that I have, and not having enough space, and coming to the realization, the understanding that I'm never going to read all the books that I own if I keep buying more books and not reading the books that I already have on my shelves. So I've got a very large stack here. I've got a stack of regular editions, and I've also got a stack of special editions that I've gotten in various book boxes and things like that I just don't think I'll ever get to. And if I do end up getting to them, I'll probably just read them on my Kindle. I have my Kindle Unlimited subscription back, and I've also got Libby and Hoopla and can easily access those books there should I ever get the urge to read them. So without further ado, let's go ahead and dive into these 44 books that I plan to unhaul. Some of these will go to half price books probably. I have some of them posted on Pango and Mercari. I'll probably also drive around to some little free libraries and drop some of these off as well, but this is the stack. You can't see it, but I'm gonna go ahead and go through every single book. Not gonna share details about the book, but I will go ahead and name them and potentially talk about why I'm unhauling them, but I think that would take too long to do for every single book. Sorry, the focus was out for a long time, but let's just go through these 44 books that I'm going to unhaul. Very sad about it, but I just do not have the space for these anymore, and either have read them and not loved them, don't need multiple copies of them, or just don't think I'll get to them as they're not a priority for me right now, which I think is okay. This is also almost exclusively romance, if that says anything about me and how my reading tastes have changed a little bit since the beginning of the year. Let's go through the regular editions of books first. First up, I have The Kingmaker and the Rebel King by Kennedy Ryan. I just don't think I'll end up getting to these books, unfortunately. I've got Craven Torn by Monica Murphy and The Scandalous Ladies of London by Sophie Jordan. These are both gifted books, and unfortunately I just don't think I'll ever end up reading these ones either. The Half Night Stand by Christina Lauren. I have no idea why I got this one. I found it in a little free library and just snatched it because Christina Lauren, but I don't think I'm going to read this book, so that was silly of me. Never Never, the complete series by Colleen Hoover and Taryn Fisher. I've already read this book, or these two books, I guess they're combined. There's two of them that have been made into one bind up. Read it, it was fine. Don't need this copy though, I didn't love the book. I'm also getting rid of almost all of my Colleen Hoover books because as much as I have liked most books by her that I have read, I'm not in a phase of my life where I'm probably going to read her very much. So I've kept Ugly Love and Heartbones, but everything else that I own by her is going away. So I've got It Ends With Us, 2 copies of that. It Starts With Us, All Your Perfects Without Merit, Maybe Someday, Reminders of Him, November 9, Confess. So this whole stack is going bye-bye. That was a huge chunk of my stack that I'm unhauling, but the rest of my regular editions are Playing to Win by Stacey Lynn. Probably just won't get to this one, and if I do, I can read it on Kindle Unlimited, I think. Twisted Secrets by Katie Robert. Haven't been vibing with like dark romance stuff recently this year, so unhauling this one. Pucks and Books by Tony Aleo. I have another copy of this that's a different cover, so I'm gonna go ahead and unhaul this one. The Wishing Game by Meg Schaffer. My mom gave this one to me, and I'm just not gonna read it. Sorry, Mom. The Hate Vow by C. Hallman. Read this book, annotated it, met the author. Did not like it, so I don't need to keep it, unfortunately. On the Rebound by L.A. Cotton. Probably just not gonna get to this one. And then finally, Mile High by Liz Tomford. as much as I've heard great things about this book, it's on KU and it's a whole series. So not gonna buy the whole series, and I can read it on my Kindle. Self-awareness, baby, self-awareness. The rest of these books that I have are special edition boxes, and I've also come to the understanding this year that special edition boxes are very much a hit or miss for me. I've actually ended up canceling most of my subscriptions for special editions, and a lot of these books I'm not gonna read. I'm not interested in reading, but they came in boxes where I didn't always know what was going on beforehand, and if I did, I only wanted some of the books in that box or whatever. For whatever reason, I just don't want these ones, and I would love to pass them on to other people who might enjoy them more than me. I also just don't have the space for all of these special editions when I have so many others on my shelves already. So the rest of the books, we still got a solid 20 or so here of special editions, but we're just gonna go ahead and fly through these so fast. First is Beautiful Hearts by Emma Scott. This is probably available on KU, but it's a beautiful special edition, very floppy, from Eternal Embers. I'm just not gonna read it anytime soon, and I don't need it. Devil in the Deep Blue Sea by Stacey Marie Brown. This is part of my Darkly box. Just not gonna read it, and that's that. Fake Empire by C.W. Farnsworth. I think this is a mafia romance. I don't really read those anymore, although this is a beautiful cover, and the chess pieces on the stenciled edges are stunning, but it's not gonna get to this one. I've also got Painted Scars here. I really enjoyed this book, but I read it on my Kindle, and I don't need a physical copy of it on my shelves. The Spanish Love Deception by Elena Armas. Just not gonna get to this one, probably, and I don't love my copy of that special edition. So sorry. I've also got The Initiation and The Obsession by Nikki Sloan. Read the first book, loved it, started to book 2 and did not like it, so unhauling these two. I've also got Not My Type by Evie Mitchell. I've read one of this author's books and liked it but didn't love it, so don't think I'll end up getting to this one. I've also got Second Chance Contract and Second Chance Vow by M. Robinson. This was the paperback monthly box from Eternal Embers one month, and just not my style of book, I don't think. I've also got Salt Kiss by Sierra Simone, which is from Darkly Box. I'm not gonna keep this one either. I've also got The Wild Boys Duet by Sarah Kate and Burn For Me as well by the same author. This came in one of my Belle book boxes, and that box, although I really like it overall, is hard sometimes because you don't know the books ahead of time. So Sarah Kate is largely dark romance, and I don't read a lot of dark romance anymore, so I'm gonna go ahead and part with those ones. I also have Blindside by Candy Steiner. I don't need multiple copies of this book on my shelf, so this one is going. I've also got Icebreaker and Wildfire from Probably Smut, and as much as I love these covers, I already have multiple copies of this book in this series, and I didn't get the third book from them, so the series will never be continued. I also don't think that these books are super high quality, and my regular paperbacks of them are just as pretty and honestly kind of look a little bit nicer in my opinion. So hot take from me, but I don't really care. To Burn in Brutal Rapture by Nyla K. Again, I just don't read dark romance anymore and don't need this one on my shelves. Got Breakaway by Grace Riley and Scoring to Win by Maren Moore. I don't love the pregnancy trope in romance, so that's why I'm getting rid of this one, although the cover is stunning and I've heard really great things about Maren Moore. And then Breakaway, I just don't really need it on my shelves. The Pool Boy and the Doctor by Nikki Sloan from Eternal Embers as well. After reading The Initiation and loving it, and The Obsession, which I talked about a second ago, and not liking it at all, I just don't think I really need these ones on my shelves because I just got really frustrated with the book that I tried to read and hated the direction that it went in. Unstoppable by K.A. Knight, another dark romance. Again, just not reading the genre anymore, so that one just didn't really need. I've also got Web of Lies by Allie Beck. This is an apocalyptic dark romance and just not my scene, but I've read some of the other books in that box and really like them. I've also got Once We Were Starlight by Mia Sheridan. Just not gonna read this author anytime soon. And then finally Inseparable by Sibahan Davis, and again, just don't think I'm gonna get to this book anytime soon. Those are the 44 books that I have gone through, looked through my shelves, and have decided to unhaul for a variety of reasons. A lot of them just not things I'm interested in at this point in my life. A bunch of them I have read, just didn't love, and did not need to keep. I've also got multiple copies of some of these books, and I just don't need them sitting on my shelves just not getting any love as I focus on other things again, in this current season of my life. I also just have shifted back from romance into thrillers more like I used to be, and a lot of these romances I think have very much just gone on the back burner for me as I prioritize the ones that I'm still very much interested in and the thrillers that I have all over the shelf and on my TBR card and everything like that, because I've just got so many books and not enough time to read them all, and I've just very much had to figure out what my priorities are right now in my life and what books I want to get to and what books I would love to pass along to other people who might look at them and enjoy them more than I probably will or have been. So these are all the books I'm unhauling. It's a very exciting time, and I'm very glad to have gone through a good little purge and opened up some space on my shelves for more books as time passes. Not at this exact moment. I'm not gonna go out and buy a bunch of new books, but I do have space for reorganization and kind of giving some space for new books that I might fall in love with, or, you know, just rearranging things, which is always very, very nice. I love a good reorganizational time and might be doing that soon because I would love to kind of move things around a little bit. But that is all that I have for this book unhaul. If you have unhauled any books recently, feel free to comment down below and let me know what they were. I just think it feels so great to do a good book unhaul every once in a while. It makes my mind feel very organized. It makes my room look a little bit neater, I think, when my shelves are no longer overflowing, and it just feels kind of nice to kind of do a little bit of cleaning throughout the year, I want to say. So I do try to do this a few times a year. I think the last unhaul that I filmed, however, for my channel would have been at the very end of last year for Bookmas. So this is the first one that I've done in 2024, although I have been unhauling books throughout the year as well, of course. But that's all that I have for today's book unhaul video. Very exciting, a little bit sad, but I'm excited to pass these books along to other loving homes. But finally, for real, that is all that I have for today's video. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all in the next one.